Welcome everyone to a little in-between update. As you've seen in the previous video, when I tried to mount a floppy, the kernel, there was some floppy driver issue. So this is the original Sun part floppy. Because I may have never used it, maybe it could also be that the floppy is defect ever was, or I probably never used it. I only have one other floppy in the office. Some Hinon, or however you want to pronounce it. By the way, when I googled this the other week for this 386 stuff, I found that this floppy can also be modified for use on an Amiga if you change the jumpers and also bridge there some jumper things that somewhere is there on the PCB. Just as a little tip. So apparently these extremely old vintage floppies are quite searched after. Anyway, actually I did not want to film this, I was just wanted to give it a short try. However, this here is coded, this doesn't plug in here, because there is some coded pin, and as you all know, I love coded plugs very much. And here on the Sun part indeed is off, and I quickly googled this, and on PC floppies this also is off. So we are here for some little experiment. Worst case we have to desolder the whole bank there, but we will code this here ourselves. Just clipping off there this pin. Just this, wait, it's nearly clipped, it's the wrong one. So, that should be enough. I did not really Google if this is a PC floppy, but it very much looks like a PC floppy, and as I said, this is very much PC technology. I will give it a quick try if what happens if I use this floppy here. It does not fully go in there. Probably shouldn't matter too much. Just to show you that with vintage machines, no matter if it's 386, PC, Power, Mac, Spark, whatever, there's always something. But in general, it's of course nice to be able to swap components, not like this latest Macs where everything is integrated and you can plug in and change nearly nothing. So let's see how this floppy is behaving, because on a 386 the other week this worked, so let's see what happens. By the way, the Sun floppy looks a little bit unclean. I hope it comes out on the camera, but here there is some flux residue all over. I wonder, most probably it came out of the manufacturing like this. I don't really think that someone soldered around on this Sun Ultra5 before they gave it to me, so I guess it probably was shipped like this with this not most outstanding flux residue quality. So it still says National Semiconductor, and let's try to mount it. No, this also doesn't work, so I guess it's safe to say it's not. Wait, yeah, there's an oops. Funny enough, when I did it off camera a minute ago, I did not get an oops. I only got some error while reading sector 0. So that I now get an oops again, like on the other video, that is also new. But yeah, then I guess floppy support on Spark is broken right now. Okay, let's see if we can use this open bootprom, open firmware, because I don't know what this Diag would do. I found your floppy that I for sure don't need. Some 3COM Ether disk, likely never used, because this other floppy had some nice DOS program and certainly don't want to ruin it with some self-test. So I guess as a OBDiag test correctly says no floppy, without a floppy we can call this self-diagnostic test a success and call this a Linux kernel bug. And I hope you found this little side notes interesting and helpful. Reading some forums and YouTube comments, I sometimes have the impression that some people do not come to such ideas themselves to just cut off coding pins. Of course, think it through, and your mileage may vary, and don't sue us if you cut off the wrong pins and it doesn't work. And of course, don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. So also need to reassemble the original floppy setup here. This goes in here again. Power and data. And then we also redo the self-test. Good, try to read and let's see. So, given it doesn't error out, I would guess the original floppy also works. And last but not least, I also need to reassemble this original PC floppy thing here with some old-fashioned floppy connector thing here for this even more old-fashioned cable connector thing. Notice a nice brown color. I wonder if it was originally probably a little bit UV faded. Always mind the panel gaps, all the many details where we can find bugs, and however I must say I in 10 years never used this floppy on the Spark, so this is only due to latest retro things and such that I even tried. So then we need to reset, how do we get out? 14 is quit.